as I did. Hey, I want to talk to you about a company that is really, really, really good at what they do when it comes to heating and air. That's DAS Mechanical. All right. We talk about Nick Delancey, the owner, and his business model and why they've been so successful. I mean, I can talk about it all I want, but like all of the 5-star reviews, that means something. There are numerous awards, right? Like you can't manufacture those. This is a phenomenal business that is family owned and operated. And when it comes to HVAC retrofitting and service, they are specialists. That's right. That is their specialization. Now, of course, they do new systems, but when it comes to retrofitting and service, they're top shelf. Homeowners, businesses for commercial maintenance, it's all there for you at DAS Mechanical. And if you should need a new system, remember there's 0% interest available for 18 months. There are rebates currently available up to $6,000. Go to dasmechanical.org. That's D as in dog, A-S as in Sam, mechanical.org. Also, take advantage of their $69 winter maintenance checkup through the end of this month. It's all there for you. Schedule everything online. It's easy to do. Check out their website, D as in dog, A-S as in Sam, mechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org. Don't forget, hour number 2, we'll talk about football. If you're joining us a little bit late, the injury news on the Sacramento Kings. Keegan Murray is going to play tonight. He'll make his season debut. Domantas Sabonis will not play tonight, and he will not play for probably the next month. A partially torn meniscus, and so he is going to be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. That is the last thing that the Sacramento Kings needed right now. They play Memphis tonight, a team that may be more dysfunctional and in more disarray than the Kings. I said may, and someone's got to win tonight. So you can look at it that way. The Grizzlies have lost 5 in a row. The Kings have lost 7 in a row. Not only have the Kings lost 7 in a row, they have not been within 10 points of any team they played. The last 7 games, the Kings have lost by double digits. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. 209 says, hey, Grant, enjoyed that interview with Ryan. If he signed with the Kings, he would have been a fan favorite. Glad he's doing well and love his message of loving one another. We need that. Thanks. Boy, do we ever. 916, love hearing Ryan Anderson on the show, Grant. El Dorado Hills and Oak Ridge, school legend. Love watching him play in high school. I did too. 530, Grant, can you let Ryan know we could use him on the stretch 4? Yeah, we could, huh? Yeah. They could use him, right? You could probably still shoot the rock. Seriously, think about everything he's gone through. So back up to that story. His girlfriend, I can't remember if they were engaged or not. I don't know but she committed suicide. And he was devastated beyond belief that night. I don't want to get into the details. You can look it up if you really want to. But Monty and his wife, Ingrid, were the first to really arrive on the scene. And Ryan talked at great length on my podcast about that entire night and everything, and extremely powerful. And then a year later to have Monty lose his wife in an automobile accident, incredible. All right, we'll switch gears coming up here in a couple of moments with Chris Landry from LandryFootball.com. We'll get into the Lane Kiffin news, if there is any. We'll talk about college and the NFL. That's going to be coming up next. And, of course, your phone calls as well. The Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports Sacramento, rolling on right after this.
Fox Sports traffic as we take another look at the roadways. Still got some problems out there. I-80 westbound off-ramp to Eureka Road. That earlier accident still trying to be wrapped up, along with I-80 westbound right on the approach to Antelope Road. That earlier collision also in the final clearing stages. Getting reports of a broken down vehicle on I-80 westbound on the approach to Applegate exit. Give yourself a couple of extra minutes to work your way through that. With twice an hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
For nearly all of us, our home is our biggest investment. And just as important as what it looks like on the outside is what is happening on the inside. How long has it been since you had your home's electrical integrity checked? Whether your home is 10 or more years old or even a newer build, the safe rule of thumb is to get the electrical inspected at least every 5 years. At Gabroods, electrical work is all we do. We're the area's recognized experts. Panel replacements, whole house fans, generators, solar, and more. But home inspections are what we do most often. Whether you have a difficult electrical situation or it's just time to ensure your home and family are safe, call locally owned Gabroods for our thorough 12-point expert inspection. Gabroods, serving our Northern California neighbors for more than 30 years. Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabroods.com.
It's Laramie, the Golden Retriever, with Vince Bloom, the big guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
Prices are falling like leaves in every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock.
During the Black Friday sales event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $12,000 net savings off MSRP on 2 new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. Net price, just $48,995.
And here's another hot deal.
Take $14,980 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Willys, just $42,495. Run at this net price.
So drive into Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Now is the time for a deal, right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Ram includes $65.40 dealer discount plus $61.70 and national stackable below MSRP retail cash. Bins SN 758655 and SN 772532. Wrangler includes $64.60 dealer discount plus $5,500 and bonus national retail loyalty and select inventory cash. Must have FCA vehicle registered in your name for longer than 30 days. In SW 543908, see dealer for details. Expires 12/1/25.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Each and every Thursday right here on Fox Sports Sacramento, we talk football with Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. You can also check out the shows that he does over on YouTube, easy to find. Chris, it's good to have you on. So here we are the week before Thanksgiving, and we're still waiting to figure out what the heck is going on at Ole Miss. Any new developments that you are aware of as it relates to Lane Kiffin?
Well, Keith Carter, the athletic director, and Lane are supposed to have a meeting tomorrow. Now, they talk every day, but, I understand that they are expected to have a meeting to discuss, obviously, Lane's future. What does he want to do? What is he thinking? What the proposals that Ole Miss is having for their NIL collective, which I think is probably the biggest thing. The salary for him is not an issue. That's going to be there wherever he goes or stays. But I think the NIL is part of it. Look, it's fascinating because the college football calendar is creating this problem. And you say, well, Lane Kiffin should just agree to stay. But what if he wants to leave? I mean, it's like he's going to have to abandon his team. They're not going to want him to coach the team. So does he basically coach the Egg Bowl next Friday, or does he re-up with Ole Miss? It's a mess. It really is. I think it's coming to a head, pretty quickly. Could happen any day now, but I would say by the end of next week, like after the game, the Egg Bowl, that's when we're going to know for sure at some point.
In your opinion, if he were to leave, do you think Florida's in the driver's seat?
No, I do not. I think it's LSU's in the driver's seat. I think
Okay.
he sees LSU football people, his friends, Coach Saban, people that and I agree with this, they all think LSU's a better football job. Now, the family has ties to Florida. Layla Kiffin, is the daughter of John Reeves, the former Bucs quarterback, but also All-American at Florida. There's some family affinity there if they were to leave. I think they also love it in Oxford. Not that they don't like it in Baton Rouge. You've probably heard the news stories that she and her sister-in-law, which is the wife of Lane's brother Chris, who's on his staff, went to Gainesville last Sunday and Baton Rouge on Monday.
Mhm.
So I look. I mean, it's going to be one of the three. I felt all along he'll stay at Ole Miss because I just can't imagine him not coaching this team in the playoffs. I just can't imagine it. But it's Lane. Every time Lane has left someplace, it's always been the controversial fashion. I think Florida's a great opportunity. I think he's probably a better fit at Florida. They love offensive football. He's got, an affinity for Steve Spurrier. And I think a lot of this drama that he brings with him may not be as good of a fit it is at LSU. And I don't think his defenses are ever going to be great, but I think that's who LSU wants if they can get him.
So Lane Kiffin, who is the most beloved figure at Ole Miss, could go from being that to the most hated man in a span of 1 second, right? I mean, think about that.
Yeah, think about how people at Tennessee think about Lane Kiffin when he left to go to USC.
Gosh. Yeah.
They wanted
Sure.
to burn down the town. They named a sewage plant in Knoxville after Lane Kiffin. You don't think it's taking college football seriously in the South. Let that resonate with you. Yes, I think this would be bigger hate. I think this would trump the Tennessee hate. He left there after 1 year and he left them in a bind. But this, if he left or was forced to leave, that's the other thing is, what does he do if they say we need an answer and he doesn't want to step down? I mean, do they fire him? Do they suspend him? Do they, this is going to be really interesting how this plays out. The only way it's not crazy is if he does decide to stay, which would probably, as much as the Ole Miss fans are frustrated with him, looking around, that would be all forgiven if he stays. Because then they can say, you see, he looked at Florida and LSU and he wants to stay with us. So they would forget that. But boy, if he left, oh Lord, yes, it would be something.
I hope you don't think this is a stupid question. Do we overrate Lane Kiffin as a coach?
I think some people do. I do. I think Lane, I've known Lane for a long time. Very close with his dad. His dad was good to me. I saw Lane grow up. I think Lane is a brilliant offensive play caller. Lane is he wants his offense to shine and score a bunch. His defenses, even at a place like an LSU or Florida where he can get better talent, his defenses are always going to be behind the eight ball because his style of play and his pace of play is going to put his defense in peril. It's going to put his defense on the field for 15 to 25 more snaps a game. And so I don't think of some places like a place like LSU is going to appreciate. They love defense. They love great defenses. That's the tradition. So I think that, I would say I think he's good. I think it would create excitement. I think he'd win potentially big at both Florida and LSU. He's doing a better job at Ole Miss than anybody's done. I mean, even better than the great Johnny Vaught. But I do think, people maybe overrate him as this great championship level coach. He hasn't done that yet. Not that he's been at a place long enough to do it. And I just, even at USC, and I know there were other problems, but I mean, he did get 60 points scored on him. And I just don't know that that it's as good a fit or he's as good as people think. I would probably go in a different direction if I were LSU, but I'm I think they're going all in, and I think sometimes that the fans, we forget that. Everybody says, "Oh, we knew Brian Kelly wasn't going to work." And I'm like, funny, I didn't hear any of that before. I can remember this, that when Nick Saban was hired, because I was really promoting Nick because I'd worked with him. That was a very unpopular hire at LSU because Nick hadn't won anything. And he was a Michigan State coach, and that obviously worked out a lot better than even I thought it would. I think right now there's probably a little bit of expectation that comes in here, and in his second year he's going to win a national championship. And I don't know that I see that with him as much as other people do.
We're talking football with Chris Landry. Before we get to the NFL, what's your read on Notre Dame? I mean, they started off the year 0-2, a young quarterback. The game at home against Texas A&M was an incredibly entertaining game. And as we look at Texas A&M, they're not bad, but they really haven't played anyone of substance for all intents and purposes since. How do you judge Notre Dame right now as they're ninth in the country?
Well, yeah, they've not played a tough schedule. I mean, they've not, and then their streak that they're on has not been against good opponents. They look really good. They've gotten better. Quarterback play's been better. They've run the football. They play good defense. They're good. I think that they're playoff caliber. I do think you can look at a couple ways. I think there's an advantage. They don't have to play a conference championship game, which would be another really good opponent. And so it gives them a chance. Now they also can't get one of those buys, but I think that they're kind of in a good position most years to make it into the playoffs. I think Marcus is a really good coach. I think he's done a good job, but I don't know how good they are. I think that getting into the playoffs, and we'll see what the matchups are. I don't know that they go as far as they did. Obviously, they went very far last year.
Let's talk NFL. Shedeur Sanders is going to make his first NFL start. What do you think we should expect from him? Obviously, he came in relief of Dylan Gabriel. Statistically, he didn't look very good. In breaking down the film that Brian Baldinger did that I saw, I thought it was not as bad as the numbers would indicate. But what are you expecting to see out of him?
Yeah, I think people need to be patient. Okay, so I mean, I think it's like when any other quarterback, there's going to be, a high expectation. I don't expect great plays. I don't expect overly clean plays. I think if he can build off of the last outing, just get rid of the football a little quicker. I think that's what he did not do very well. He did not see the field well enough, and he didn't get rid of the ball quickly enough. I think more reps is only going to help him. And I would say let's look for small incremental improvements. If it's better than that, great. Don't get overly excited that he's going to be the greatest thing ever. And don't be overly down on the fact that if he doesn't play great, that it's over. I think there's a reason why he's not earned more reps, and now he's earned it through injury. It's his time. It's his time to make of it what he can, and don't try to be a hero. Just make the plays that are there and make good reads. If he does that, I think he'll be fine.
When you look at Jordan Love on film, has he regressed? I mean, I'm looking at his team offensively, particularly as of late, or is there more to it with the personnel around him in Green Bay?
No, he's very inconsistent. He makes some decisions that are very poor and tries to force the ball sometimes instead of checking it down. I think this team is really good, and I think he is ultra talented. And I think somebody that they can realistically say, look, we can continue to build around him and we can be a championship level team. But, he's got to make smarter decisions, protect the football, and just move the chains and try to be more rhythmic and systematic with his approach instead of always trying to make the big play. There are times for that, but I think you need to set that up better. And I think they haven't done the best job with him coaching wise. And I think that's a fair criticism too, because I think the kid is a hard worker, but I do think in some ways he's regressed, because what's happened is people are going to sit on certain throws that he likes to throw. You've got to be able to get defenses out of that look. And I don't think he's done a very good job, and I don't think they've done a very good job with him.
Staying in that division, a year ago, the Minnesota Vikings had both Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones on their roster, and they handed the keys of the car over to J.J. McCarthy. And listen, it's his first year, so I don't want to make too much out of it. Are you a fan of McCarthy? Do you see him with a bright future in the NFL, or do you have questions?
No, I think he's got a bright future. Hope he can stay healthy. A little concern there. No, I think he'll be fine. I think he's obviously played better than both the two aforementioned guys when they were rookies. You know what I mean? So he's showing more, but you just hit on it as, kind of what we've talked about in quarterbacks, throughout our time together is, it's a developmental position. It's about learning. It's about understanding what a defense is trying to do against you and how to approach it and attack it. I think he's a little bit ahead of his time and his schedule, considering that basically it's his rookie year because he didn't play anything. So, last year. So I think he's going to be fine. But boy, I understand making the move. They put an investment in a high pick with them, but those other two are playing really good ball with good teams around them. Quite frankly, two teams that are better than Minnesota right now.
All right, another player I'm confused about is Jalen Hurts. So 3 years ago in the Super Bowl, I personally thought he was the best player on the field. In the overtime loss to Kansas City, he had the strip fumble, and other than that, I thought he played a perfect game. He won a Super Bowl last year. He always seems to play well in big games, but I can't go a day without seeing criticism towards Jalen Hurts. What's going on in Philadelphia?
Well, I think people look at Philly and have an expectation that they need more out of the passing game. Understand that when they won the Super Bowl and when they've had success going as deep as they have, even when they haven't won it, they're built around a really good defense, superb at the line of scrimmage on both sides. They run the football well, including with the quarterback run, and certainly are dominating in short yard situation. And what that does is force the numbers in the box to defend the run. And against man coverage, he can absolutely make a lot of plays. He's not a drop back guy that's going to be able to carve a throw in the middle of two deep coverage. He's not that precise, but when you force numbers into the box, you don't have to be as precise. I think they've were a little bit more aggressive in the past at setting the deep ball up. I think now sometimes they've tried to force feed things in the passing game because they haven't been as consistent running it. And I think what you're seeing is, the passing game is not as good because they haven't been as successful in key moments running the football. Now, the statistics are still pretty good, but they're not controlling their blocks long enough and having enough success on early downs running the football. And so it's putting it more into his hands, and they're not as successful. We know the whole story. A.J. Brown's not getting the ball enough. And, I think certainly if you can play man coverage or you roll a safety that side, they're not going to be great at passing the football. But if they can force man coverage, I think they can make some big plays in the passing game. So that's what Jalen Hurts. He really hasn't changed. He still is good, but you have to understand that there are different styles of quarterbacks. He's great at his style. He is underrated by a lot of people. The people that think, he's as good as anybody in the league. There's some people that overrate him. So I think with him, it's an unusual guy, right? I mean, how many people can you say, I think over here, you're underrating him. Over here, I think you're overrating him. I think he is what he is, and I don't think people can't leave that alone. Oh, he's great. He's not like some of the other quarterbacks in the league. And you know what? Some of those other quarterbacks don't have some of his skill set because, boy, he can be dominant as a runner in his own right.
As we get ready to watch the Bills play tonight at 7-3, it's been a very inconsistent 7-3. As we approach Thanksgiving, are you a buyer or a seller with the Bills?
I'm still going to be a buyer because of the quarterback, and I think there's certainly time to get better. When you say buyer, making the playoffs, wouldn't want to play them, going to be a threat. I don't know that I'm buying them going to the Super Bowl. I'm not quite sure who I would buy at this point out of the AFC. No, they still have a lot of potential. But listen, I'm with you. It's Thanksgiving next week, and it's time for them to start to develop more consistency. I think more consistency on defense, and not just the, hey, Josh Allen hero ball. He's done that exceedingly well in the past, but play better around him, and that team's got a better chance of going further. So let's see if they can do it. And you're right. They just play some stinker of games that you say, what is this? Is this a Super Bowl contender? Really? There's some weeks they don't look anything but.
But that's true of so many teams this year, right? I mean, even Denver, who's 9-2.
Yes.
I mean, some of the games they've had, you leave you scratching your head. Philadelphia, is there? I guess there isn't a great team in the NFL right now, is there? I mean, everyone looks very beatable.
No. Look at the East. Patriots are consistent, but they're not great. The North doesn't have one. You mentioned too. I mean, the Chargers have kind of fallen apart, and the Chiefs are trying to, in danger of not making the playoffs. How crazy is that? You talked about Denver. In the NFC, I think Detroit's good, but they're certainly not dominant. I think the Rams are good. I think the Seahawks are good. But this could be a year where, I don't know, somebody gets on a roll and plays pretty well, and maybe Chicago wins a game or two in the playoffs, make it. And I do think that while there's some teams that I like a little better, like maybe Detroit in the NFC, consistency, I don't look at them as, boy, it's going to be really tough to beat that team in the playoffs. I think everybody is beatable, which is going to make for a lot of excitement in the playoffs, I would think.
Always great having you on. And hopefully, we won't talk to you next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, but hopefully then the next, maybe we can pick a different day if it fits with your schedule. But hopefully we have some Lane Kiffin news soon so we can move on and figure out what the heck's going on.
Yes, we could go on with our lives. We don't have to sit there and hand ring and call out an APB in Oxford, Mississippi, and hopefully that the town will survive. I will tell you that even if we talk, and that would be great early next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know if we'll have it just yet. I don't know if we'll have the word just yet. I think it may be the latter part of the week, but we might. We might hear something tomorrow. Maybe early next week. Egg Bowl's next week. I know Keith Carter, the athletic director, would like this cleared up before the Egg Bowl next week.
Let's hope so. All right, I'll reach out to you at the beginning of next week, see if your schedule. I would love to be able to do a segment before Thanksgiving. If not, for whatever reason, have a great Thanksgiving. I appreciate you, and our listeners really appreciate you as well. So thank you.
Well, thanks a bunch. It's great being on with you, and yes, we'll talk next week.
Okay, sounds good. That's Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. Why don't we open up the phone lines when we come back? 916-779-0929. This is the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports traffic as we take another look at the roadways. We got an accident blocking the left lane of I-80 eastbound right at Mesa Boulevard. You're backed up to about Richards Boulevard, so give yourself about 15, 20 extra minutes to work your way through that. Cap City Freeway in between Exposition Boulevard and Marconi Avenue. Also starting to see the heavy rush hour delays along with US 50 in between Howe Avenue and the I-5 interchange. With twice an hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Traffic brought to you by Gabroods Electrical. Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabroods. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, and always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues with Gabroods. GUBRUDS.com.
It's Laramie the Golden Retriever with Vince Bloom the Big Guy.
The weather's getting cooler, but at Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the deals are hotter than ever.
How do you mean, Vince?
Prices are falling like leaves on every Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram in stock.
During the Black Friday sales event at Folsom Lake Dodge, save over $12,000 net savings off MSRP on 2 new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. Net price just $48,995.
And here's another hot deal.
Take $14,980 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Willys, just $42,495. One at this net price.
So drive into Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Now is the time for a deal, right, Laramie?
At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at folsomlakedodge.com.
Ram includes 6540 dealer discount plus 6170 and national stackable below MSRP retail cash. Ends SN 758655 and SN 772532. Wrangler includes 6460 dealer discount plus 5500 and bonus national retail loyalty and select inventory cash. Must have FCA vehicle registered in your name for longer than 30 days. In SW 543908, see dealer for details. Expires 12/125.
Have you ever tried to buy gold and silver and felt like you were talking to a used car salesman? That's because the precious metals industry is like the Wild West. Salesmen can say pretty much anything or make any promise they want without repercussion. But Genesis Gold Group is different. They're a faith-driven Christian precious metals company and believe in educating their customers, not pressuring them for a quick sale. Genesis Gold Group focuses on customer service, not sleazy marketing. Genesis Gold Group is named after the first book of the Bible for a reason. Proper stewardship of wealth is their specialty. Find out why they've earned a 5 out of 5 rating through the Better Business Bureau and how they can help you secure your wealth or retirement through physical precious metals. Call right now to learn more.
800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. 800-497-8464. That's 800-497-8464.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you missed the first hour of the show, it will be replayed at 6 o'clock, and you will be able to hear the interview that I had with Ryan Anderson. Of course, the show will be available on your favorite podcast platform. Ryan, that was a pretty amazing chat with Ryan Anderson, huh? What a life story.
I don't know where to start, Grant. It touched on everything. Basketball, chemistry, life. Really great stuff from Ryan.
Yeah, I will tell you that the life experiences that he had before he even turned 30 was truly those of somebody that lived a full life, everything that he experienced. So it was great to have him on. And again, if you missed the interview, I've got good news for you. All right? I've got good news for you. You can listen to it beginning at 6 o'clock when we have the hour replayed, or again, you can go check out right on your favorite podcast platform. 916-779-0929. Domantas Sabonis will be out for a while. A partially torn meniscus in his knee, which means that he won't even play. He won't even be evaluated for another 3 to 4 weeks. So not good news. Not good news. Not good news at all. All right, let's get to Bill in Citrus Heights. Hello, Bill. How are you?
Hello, Grant. Miss you announcing, and that's why I'm calling, is that I
Thank
don't
you.
enjoy the TV announcers watching the Kings games. I feel like people, the color person talks over the play-by-plays. They ramble on, and I feel like I'm not watching the same game they're announcing. I wish we had higher quality. People keep me interested in the game. And I don't know if you feel comfortable making an observation upon
Yeah,
that.
I would be happy
that's
to.
just-
I've never watched them. I've never watched a Kings telecast in 5 years for 1 second. I've always watched the away announcers, and I receive nothing but complaints every day, both on my shows and on my social media sites from people I know and people that I don't know that tell me the same thing as you do. But I haven't watched it. I won't watch it. I watch the opposing team's feed for every single game.
Well, I do enjoy Mr. Gary Gerald, but I'm just really disappointed. You know, it just reflects upon the organization as a whole that it's lost its entertainment value.
Well, I wish I could give you more of a, I guess, opinion, but it would be wrong for me to do so because I've never viewed them. I won't watch them. I have no desire to watch them. I'm not a fan of anybody on the telecast from previous experiences. I'm a fan of Katie as a person. I think she's a lovely lady, and I enjoyed being around her. But I didn't think she was very good as a sideline reporter. And one of the main reasons was she scripts everything and she talks too much. In other words, she doesn't know how to be succinct and say what she wants and then be done. She just goes on and on and on. So I would imagine that's similar to what's going on as her role as an analyst on the Kings games. But again, I haven't watched her. But from a human perspective, I've always liked her. I've always respected her as a person, and I enjoyed being around her. Professionally, not as much.
Well, I appreciate the insight that you can give, and I'm certain she is a wonderful and beautiful and kind-hearted person. Maybe just in the wrong role, but anyhow, just wanted to express my opinion on that. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I probably receive more complaints on my social media site from Katie about Katie than maybe the other two that do the play-by-play. So, Rhino, I know we talk about this on our post-game show. We get. I mean, good Lord, we have a large number of people that join us on our post-game shows, and the complaints that we receive, they never stop. They never stop.
Yeah, there's a few of them every single game. I think it's fair, though, to acknowledge, and I know you don't like this part of it, you and Jerry were near the top of the league in terms of local broadcast teams. You were the best of the best. You were in the top 3 in the NBA, and that's what Sacramento had for 32 years. So you're going to there's going to be a drop from Grant and Jerry. The current product, I will give you a couple of critiques. The first problem, in my opinion, and I respect everybody that's sitting in those roles, whether I agree with some of them off the floor or not, is consistency. You don't have a consistent duo that's doing every single game. It's kind of the whole 3-headed booth thing, right, Grant? It's just doesn't work. So that probably does not help Katie. The second thing that I would say is in terms of Katie over talking, I don't think it comes from a bad place. And I have been critical of Katie in the past. I just think, sometimes there's an obligation that she feels like every time the whistle blows, that she needs to explain what happened or tell you whether it was a bad call or whether it was a good call. So in a way, it's saying maybe you care too much, but it does cause for some of that muddiness on the broadcast.
Okay, so without sounding like I know it all, because I don't, but I've studied broadcasting really since I was in grade school. And I mean that in all sincerity. And a lot of this is subjective, okay, because you might like an individual on the air and I don't, and vice versa. And that's life. I mean, it's like, why do you watch a certain newscast? Well, generally speaking, it's because you like the person that's delivering the news. Why do you go to a certain restaurant? Well, why do you go to a certain supermarket? We have a lot of different choices, right? I mean, you go to a supermarket, they all have the same product for the most part, but you have a favorite store that you go to and you frequent that. And it's the same thing with broadcasting. But I've studied broadcasting. And the one thing I've always said, and you know this for doing the show with me over on our YouTube channel for so long, but I've never really discussed this on this radio show since I started on September 2nd. The people that work, or excuse me, let me back up because I haven't been there in 5 years. When I was doing the Kings games, they were aired, and I believe they still are, by the NBC Sports California, NBC Sports Bay Area group. They
Correct.
work in the same building in San Francisco. And I wasn't employed by them, and I used to talk to my crew about this often. There was nobody in that building that knew anything about broadcasting. I was dumbfounded by the lack of broadcasting knowledge that high-ranking people in that building had obtained. And the one individual who I actually liked and got along with very well, who was basically the overseer of our telecast, was one of the least knowledgeable people that I've ever met in my career as it related to broadcasting. And so the biggest problem that I see, and when I worked for many years with the Kings, we had a director of broadcasting by the name of Craig Amazine. And Craig was not only good at what he did, Craig was great. He was with the Phoenix Coyotes of the NHL, the Arizona Cardinals of the NFL, and he knew broadcasting inside out. And I actually learned things from Craig, and we became very good friends. And we had a mutual respect for one another professionally because of his knowledge and my knowledge. And we would exchange a lot of ideas as it related to broadcasting. He had won multiple Emmy Awards in his role. I mean, he used to have them in his office. They were multiple Emmys. So the guy was really, really good at what he did. And there isn't anyone like that in the Kings organization now. And the individuals that produce and direct the games, they're not in a position to sit down with Katie and try to tell her what she should and should not do. It's really not their role, and that's not what they do. That person needs to come from somebody at the parent group of NBC Sports Bay Area, NBC Sports California. But the problem is, and again, maybe that's changed, there's nobody in that building that has any idea. They don't know what the hell they're doing over there. They really don't. They have no clue when it comes to sports broadcasting. And I'm not saying this to brag, okay? I could sit down with Katie in a room with a monitor and her work for 1 hour, and I would be able to help her immeasurably. I know I could. She would have to be willing to listen to criticism. She would have to be willing to admit that she has faults. And she would have to be willing to say, you know what? That makes a lot of sense to me. Let me work on that. I know that I could make her a much better broadcaster than she is. And all of the people that I hear from, both on our shows and social media, they can't all be wrong. They can't all be wrong. But again, you know, part of it is her, and part of it is the fact that there's nobody in the organization currently that I'm aware of, and there's nobody at NBC Sports California currently that I'm aware of that has any idea what the hell they're talking about when it comes to broadcasting. And that's the reality of the situation.
And that's what I can't speak to it because I don't know the people that are in that building. But that's what makes it difficult if that's the case. And here's the other reality. You're not calling a great product right now. And what did you and Jerry always used to say, or what did Jerry say? We got to make the people believe they're not seeing what they're seeing. Right. And there's that entertainment aspect to it. And I think that's where I have been critical again at times, but that's where I give a little bit of leniency because you have to have enough time to build, in my opinion, and I'm not a broadcaster in terms of calling games. There needs to be a chemistry where you can chit chat, go back and forth, have fun, make it natural. And so I think it's just been a shock to the system. And it would have been a shock to the system unless you brought in network people to do the games that have been working for years together, to go from you and Jerry to what is there now.
Yeah, and listen, I understand that people want to compare to others, and that's natural. But forget about me and Jerry for a moment. The reality is that there's no consistency on the Kings telecast. Their lead announcer misses half the games. Again, I don't want to come out of left field like this because I'm only going by the comments that I received.
Right.
I don't even remember what's the name of the guy that does the games when Mark's not there. I don't even know his name. What's his name?
Kyle Draper.
Okay. I have heard from those that are in the league, play-by-play announcers that are currently working and have worked for a long time, that have reached out to me and go, how on earth did he ever get that job? How on earth can they allow him to do play-by-play? And I laugh and I say, to be honest with you, I don't know. I've never heard him do a game. But like, to me, if you want to take a look at broadcasting as a whole, and let's just call it the way it is, okay? The woke ideology of the owner of the Sacramento Kings is not about doing what's best for the fans and not delivering a product that the fans can be proud of, but instead it puts a check in his check mark for wokeness. That's what's going on with the Kings. That's one of their biggest problems as a franchise, is they don't hire the right people or the best people. They have all of these ridiculous boxes that they need to check off to make them look good. And in return, they're really hurting their audience. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and you've been inside the walls. I have not. I can't. And again, I'm sitting here speaking as a viewer. I am not speaking as a broadcaster because that's not what I do. But I wish, if this is the trio that we have, no disrespect professionally to Mark Jones' credentials and what he has done professionally, but I would like to just see Kyle and Katie. I think that Katie has put herself in a position, worked her way, at least grinded through and put a lot of work into this. And I think you see that sometimes to a fault. And for Kyle, who came from Boston, I think he has very quickly, at least in my opinion, really taken to the Sacramento community, trying to really embrace being a part of this community. And I think part of that is what it takes to be in those seats. Like, that is the qualification, the number one qualification. And I would just like to see the two of them together if this is the group that we're going to have.
Well, I've never met him, so I can't comment on him, and I've never listened to his work, so I can't comment on that part. But I would just tell you that my broadcasting contacts in Boston, which are numerous, were shocked and blown away when he got the job in Sacramento, and part of his role was play-by-play. First of all, I've never been a fan of Mark Jones. I have always turned off Mark Jones before he became the announcer with the Kings. When he did college football, if a big college football came on, and I was like, oh, no, please not. Same with basketball. So I've never been a Mark Jones fan. And then after, reading all of his hypocritical social media remarks, which to me are deplorable and disgusting, I have refused to ever watch anything that Mark Jones does. Okay, I won't go there. Okay, it goes against my core values as a human being, and I won't allow myself to do that. So that's one main reason why I have never turned on a Kings telecast. When I watch the games, I watch the other team's feet. But before his comments on social media, which to me are deplorable and disgusting, I was never a fan of his anyway. And if I owned the team, I would never, ever have an announcer that only did half my games. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just would never do that. So 916-779-0929. Okay, that's 916-779-0929. I'm getting tons of messages. And so thank you very much for all of the comments. And again, most of them are critical of what we're talking about, that they agree with what we're saying. So listen, I'm not, that's not my role. It's not my job to call Katie and talk to her. And, if she were ever to call me and reach out to me and want advice, I would give it to her. I like Katie. I've always liked her. I'm never going to say anything bad about her as a person, because that would be just like untrue. I like her. I enjoy talking to her. I have nothing bad to say about her as a person. I just don't. And you'll never hear me go there. But professionally, I've never been a fan of hers, whether she was on radio at the station that I worked at in the mornings or as a sideline reporter. I've never been a fan. Now, I would also tell you I'm not a fan of sideline reporters in general. I don't see the need for it, and I've been very open about that. There's only a few sideline reporters in the history of broadcasting that I've looked at and go, oh, wow, they really add a lot to the telecast. I'm not a fan of it. I've never been a fan of that. But again, that's just me. That's just me. All right, why don't we take a time out? We'll continue this conversation right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580, or go to elitepower.com.
At Downtown Ford Sacramento, we're proud of our long heritage. We've consistently provided Ford cars and trucks to families and businesses in this region for over 100 years. If we think about it, practically every kid who grew up in this town at one time or another rode around in a Ford that we sold to their family. We've served multiple generations of local farmers and ranchers who got their rugged Ford trucks from us. We've also provided many of the emergency vehicles that you see out doing the people's work every day on the streets. All of us at Downtown Ford, from our top-notch service department who keep your Ford running like new, to our dedicated finance team and the guys and gals in our showroom, we thank you for generations of love and loyalty to us. And for that love, we say right back at you. We're doing Fords just like we always have. Come see us any day of the week or visit us online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at bfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, bfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868.
For nearly all of us, our home is our biggest investment. And just as important as what it looks like on the outside is what is happening on the inside. How long has it been since you had your home's electrical integrity checked? Whether your home is 10 or more years old or even a newer build, the safe rule of thumb is to get the electrical inspected at least every 5 years. At Gabroods, electrical work is all we do. We're the area's recognized experts. Panel replacements, whole house fans, generators, solar, and more. But home inspections are what we do most often. Whether you have a difficult electrical situation or it's just time to ensure your home and family are safe, call locally owned Gabroods for our thorough 12-point expert inspection. Gabroods, serving our Northern California neighbors for more than 30 years. Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabroods.com.
Been a good show. Really have enjoyed the conversations with Ryan Anderson, with Chris Landry, the Kings broadcast that was brought up by an individual from Citrus Heights. Bill, you can add on to that if you want. 916-779-0929. All right, so let's have a little fun here. What do you think the Kings starting lineup is going to look like? Have they already announced it? I haven't even looked, but what do you think? What do you think the lineup is going to look like tonight with no Sabonis, with Keegan Murray coming back, I think you need to start. Oh, here we go right here. Here's your lineups. Nope, Jerry's right. They are not starting Keegan Murray. It's DeRozan, Achua, Eubanks, Levine, and Westbrook. Meanwhile, it's Jalen Wells with, we knew about Edie, Coward, Williams Jr. Is it Aldama? Who's at the other forward? I don't even know who that is.
Santi
All right,
Aldama.
Yeah. Who are your inactives? All right. So Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson, Ty Jerome, John Morant, Scottie Pippen Jr., and Javon Small. The Kings, we know about Sabonis, really. But so Keegan Murray is going to come off the bench. Jerry hit that right on the head.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that move. Let him work himself into the game. He's going to be in that situation, Grant, and maybe you can speak to this more. There's a difference between cardio and what you're doing off the court. And because it was a hand injury, he could still do some cardio, presumably. But NBA shape, game shape, and Jerry's point last night, no real training camp.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit of a ramp up for Keegan.
How's that any different than Russell Westbrook, who had no training camp and was on the floor 2 days playing big-time minutes, and same with Precious Achua? Like, why is it different for Keegan Murray?
18 years, and I don't know what Precious is. I think he's
Yeah, but like from a physical point of view, that doesn't matter. If anything, I would think Keegan Murray would be better suited to play more minutes, right? Than
arguably
Westbrook. I mean, he's a young man. I mean, he had a thumb injury. He didn't have anything wrong with his limbs. He's been able to work out. I would think he's in tip-top shape.
Russ is a Hall of Famer, though.
Yes, of course.
He's
and much well-deserved.
Been around the block. He's got more money than Keegan to spend on his body. Or he did. Guess they have no, Russ still has more money. But no, theoretically, Keegan should be able to bounce back sooner. I think it's a feeling now. And he's going to be playing, by the way, with a brace on his left hand, very similar to what he played with Grant his rookie season and what Domas played with after his avulsion fracture.
So what do you think? 20 minutes tonight? You want to just have fun with this? Keegan Murray plays 20 minutes in this game?
No, I think you'll see him maybe a little bit a shorter first run, and then I think you see a lot more of him in the second half.
Okay.
I think he'll ramp up and get that second win, third win.
Well, it's both teams are shorthanded. I think without Sabonis, it's life's going to be really rough again for the next several weeks. I just and again, until Doug Christie starts coaching his team with some consistency, I just don't see how anything's going to improve. I just don't. I don't see it happening.
Here's your keys for tonight, because I'm assuming Doug Christie will probably run a little bit of zone defense. Protect the corners. Jalen Wells from Folsom High School here in Sacramento has killed the Kings in the corners, or at least he did last year, his rookie year. Cedric Coward, who you mentioned, he was the one that went viral because ESPN said Colin Cowherd was drafted into the NBA. He had a really good game last game, 19 points, 11 rebounds, and he can shoot the three ball as well. So that's going to be, for me, the key. And then also what we talked about, staying out of foul trouble if you're the bigs, because you got Zach Edey coming back to his, I believe, third game now.
Yes. And without Edey, if he weren't playing tonight, I would say there's no way the Kings are going to lose this game. But without Sabonis now, I know they don't have Jaren Jackson. Levine and DeRozan. Okay, what do you think's going on with Zach LaVine?
I can only presume that back is still bothering him because, Grant, he looked so good to start this season. I mean, surgical with his accuracy, both shooting the ball and even effort defensively, and it's kind of fallen off a cliff. What are you seeing?
I don't like the body language. I don't like the lack of emotion. I don't know if he's dealing with something, but for the first month of the season, that's all we were talking about. And the last week or so, we're like, what's wrong with Zach LaVine, you know?
Very true. And DeMar, he just doesn't look comfortable, Grant.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy. He doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. I mean, there's nothing about DeMar right now that I'm looking at and going, wow, man, I'm really happy the Kings have him. And I don't mean to slam the guy. I mean, He wants to be somewhere else. It's pretty obvious to me.
Well, DeMar has always, you know what DeMar DeRozan's game is when you bring him on a team. It's the mid-range, it's working people down, and it's getting to the free throw line. This year is the least amount of free throws he shot per game since his rookie year. So,
wow, is that right? Since his rookie year, I wasn't even aware of that.
Since his rookie year. So he's having a really hard time, in my opinion, finding that comfort zone, that niche within the Kings concept that they're trying to run.
916-779-0929. What do you think is the love affair with Dennis Schroeder when he's not playing well, like last night when he played, over 30 minutes and took 21 shots and only scored 21 points?
He was very good in the first half, but he doesn't know when to pull back a little bit. Like Russell Westbrook, when he started, his first start, when Doug Christie put him in for Dennis Schroeder, he knew what the starters needed in that group, and he came out and had 8 assists and only 2 points in the first half. I think it's the fact that he's a vet. I think that he does more on the defensive end in terms of being a little bit of a pest that Doug Christie likes. And maybe it's that, well, he's only one more shot away from getting going. And that's where I have a trouble disseminating how Coach Christie should coach that, because I see a guy, Grant, like Malik Monk last night. It looked like he's starting to cook, and then he doesn't touch the ball for a little bit. And Dennis,
well, that's been the story all year.
I know. Think about it. How little have we said Malik Monk this year? And he's quietly having a decent year.
Yes. Again, there's nothing that is going on from a substitution pattern and a minutes pattern that makes sense to me through the first 15 games. And here's something else, okay? If you want to get into numbers, right? There are 67 games left to go in the season.
Yeah.
In order for the Kings to equal last year's record of 40 wins and 42 losses, they would have to go 37-30. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
That's just to equal last year's record. Like, the chances of that happening are slim and none.
And the impression, especially doing the show yesterday for you and then doing the post game with Jerry, is there is a large contingent of this fan base that is rooting for this team to lose.
Yes, I know they are. They want competitive games with good effort and good hustle, but lose. That's what they want. They all want to get the lucky bounce of the ball in the lottery next year, or this coming year, or next year, 2026.
Yes, exactly right. Let me ask you this about Keegan Murray. And I don't expect him to come out and have 40 points tonight, although I hope he does. Is this the best position Keegan Murray has been in to try and take over this offense?
Yes, absolutely, especially without Sabonis near him and the instability around this team right now. Yes, and the fact that let's just call it the way it is. At this point, it doesn't matter if the Kings win or not. It doesn't. I mean, we have to get to that. We have to accept that as followers of the Kings and from the fans, that the most important thing right now is player development. It's Reyno, it's Clifford, it's Ellis. It's not Levine. It's not DeRozan. It's not Schroeder. It's not Westbrook. I mean, we just have to deal with reality.
And out of those guys, who do you want on the floor with the players, the young guys?
Who do I want on the floor?
Yeah, if you had to pick one between DeRozan, Schroeder, and Levine. Excuse me, DeRozan, Schroeder, Levine, and Westbrook. Who's the one you want with that group?
You know, to be honest with you, I don't want to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but out of that group, Westbrook, just because he plays every play like it's going to be his last.
That is my exact answer as well. It's Russell Westbrook.
I wouldn't listen. I am not going to go back on what I said. I think it was a mistake that the Kings signed Russell Westbrook. It wasn't a mistake because I said he can't play anymore. It was a mistake based on where the Kings are heading. It was a mistake, in my opinion, based on what the goal is and what the future is and is not. That's why I thought it was a mistake. As much as I love watching a guy play, and I have so much appreciation for the way he plays, I really do. I have so much appreciation for the way he goes about his job. But the reality is, it's taking minutes away from players that are going to be part of the future, like Nick Clifford, like Keon Ellis, or I think Keon is, I don't know that for sure, like a potential in Devin Carter. I mean, like, what are we doing here? I keep on going back to what are we doing? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I shrugged off the people that said, oh, it's to sell tickets. But in reality, I mean, I agree with everything you said. And we were on the record saying to the fans, oh, well, he's going to, be a mentor on the bench, right? He's going to teach the young guys stuff. He'll be in a McDermott role, not Russell Westbrook, right? But again, in reality, he's given Kings the highlight of the season, which was a home triple-double beating Golden State. He's been the highlight.
Okay, but they beat Golden State without Curry, without Draymond Green, without Jimmy Butler, right? And the Kings were shorthanded that night too. But I mean, I'm not going to get carried away over that.
You have 3 wins. I'm not.
Yeah,
saying
I understand, but you
I'm
had
not
a win against the Warriors team where their 3 potential Hall of Famers weren't on the floor.
Grant, I am not saying within context it wasn't a big deal. I am saying that has been the highlight of this season.
Yeah, how sad is that? How sad is that?
Can you name me? I don't think of beating Milwaukee in Milwaukee above Russ's triple-double in his first beam, I believe. No, he got his beam the other night, his first night with Utah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I mean, again, you're 3-12, right? And the West from 9 down looks terrible. Let's just for right now say one of those teams is going to finish 8th this year after the play-in. Oh, that's great. You get to play Oklahoma City. Oh, that's great. You think any of those teams would win even one game against Oklahoma City? The answer to that question is no. The answer to that question is no. So that's where we're at right now. Hey, listen, you have to deal with reality, Kings fans, and I think most of you have. I really believe that most of you have. This season now is over. Okay? It's over. I told you it back a month ago that it would be over by Thanksgiving. Let's just deal with reality. It's over. It's finished. Start playing for the future. Wake up, okay? Wake up. And I understand that you need to play your vets because you're trying to trade them, but you don't have to play them 35 minutes. You don't have to have Dennis Schroeder on the floor for 30-plus minutes taking 21 shots.
Who you're not trading.
You got to deal with reality.
And you're not trading Schroeder. Nobody's touching
No,
that
you're not.
contract.
That's exactly right. You're not. But the Levine you want to trade, I don't know how practical that is. DeRozan, now Sabonis, I don't know what that does. But I better start seeing Nick Clifford play more than freaking 10 minutes a game, more than 15 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we freaking doing here? Like Nick Clifford is playing 8 minutes, 7 minutes. Like, what is that all about? Drives me crazy.
Keon Ellis as well. And ironically enough, you will probably see a better product. The good news, Kings,
can it be any worse, Ryan? They've lost 7 games in a row by double digits.
I don't remember the last time they really had a sizable lead. It feels like it's been games. Have they had a sizable lead? I guess here's the positive, and I'll leave you with this. You are now closer to being out of purgatory or in detention and back on the playground, except you're not on the side of the contenders. You're on the side of the bottom feeders, which is good, which means you should logically get a good draft pick in a very strong draft. Most experts are predicting, Napes.
I'm with you. That's what the predictions are. Don't mess it up. All right, don't forget, Grant's rant is going to be coming up here in just a couple of moments. The Kings game will start in about 10 minutes or so. We'll be following that. Hey, don't forget that right after the game, Jerry Reynolds, Rhino, myself, we will be over on the YouTube channel, if you don't like that, with our post-game show. All right? Can't wait. We got a lot going on. Grant's rant is coming up next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Sports traffic as we take another look at the roadways. Still kind of got some accidents being cleaned up around town. Heavy rush hour delays, especially Cap City Freeway, US 50 and I-5, starting to see those heavy rush hour delays kick into full gear. We did wrap up that earlier problem on I-80 westbound right at Childs Road. Things are starting to thin out very nicely in that area as well. With Twice an Hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. The holidays may feel far away, but the best dates are filling fast. At Bennett's, we make every celebration effortless. Host your holiday parties in our elegant private dining rooms, or let us bring the chef-crafted catering right into your home or office. From family dinners to company parties, our team delivers the flavors, service, and holiday magic your guests will remember. Secure your holiday celebration today with Bennett's at bennettsrestaurants.com.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Need new tires? Now through November 30th, save $100 instantly when you buy a set of 4 Bridgestone Weatherpeak tires. Save $70 instantly when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires, or buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires and save $60 instantly. Only at Express Tires. Express Tires, 7215 Watt Avenue. Offer valid November 1st through November 30th, 2025. Cannot be combined with other offers. See store for details.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Shedeur Sanders has lived under a spotlight from the moment his name entered the NFL draft conversation. Hope, hype, and a whole lot of questions have followed him every step of the way. And his emergency appearance last week didn't do much to quiet the skeptics. If anything, it only amplified the doubts. But let's be honest, tossing a rookie into a surprise mid-game cameo against a contending Ravens team is hardly a fair evaluation. He hadn't taken meaningful reps with the starters. He hadn't game planned. He was thrown into the deep without a life jacket, and it looked like it. This week is different. He gets the start, he gets the reps, and he gets the Raiders. No matter how it goes, the sample size will still be too small to judge his ceiling. But with a full week to prepare and an organization finally building the game plan around him, we will get our first glimpse of what the former Colorado star might become in the NFL. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It's being called the Golden Bonanza Sweepstakes. Thanks to our friends at Mako, the DP Show, proud to be a part of this, giving listeners a chance to join us in San Francisco for Super Week. That's right, a trip for 2, including round-trip coach airfare, 3 nights, hotel stay, ground transportation, and VIP access to see us do our show. If that's not enough, Mako also giving away 5 free paint jobs and 10 Mako and DP Show swag bags as runner-up prizes. It's really simple to enter. You go to danpatrick.com. The best news, you can enter daily for a chance to win. You can also receive a 25% off coupon to use at any Mako shop. Visit any Mako location now for a free estimate and redeem the coupon. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, go to danpatrick.com for official rules. No purchase necessary. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Open to contiguous U.S. D.C. residents 18 or over. Ends 11/23/25.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant's Rant.
I've already got the rant picked out. Lead me into it, Rhino. This is Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine talking about load management.
Is start the season earlier, play 2 games a week for, I would say, the first, at this point, for the first month of the season. That's rest and practice time that you're going to get the first month. Forget about the preseason, 1 game or 2 games each, and then we're off and running with the regular season. Also, get rid of scoring averages and rebounds. Everything is total. So maybe now you'll get guys on the second night of a back-to-back. Maybe they'll play in the second half. Like if Steph Curry got himself ready to go and just played the final, like 18 minutes in the second half, that wouldn't be good for the Warriors. I get it that resting completely is more beneficial, but maybe that's something teams would factor in. They have to look at other ways. It's such a just some studies, because guess what? This is, to Brian's point, this is the Warriors looking at the schedule. Guys are a little banged up. They don't play till Friday. And they're saying, you know what are we doing here? Come on. Enough is enough. Our 17th game, it's ridiculous. We're not playing.
So here's the bottom line. This is all because of the Golden State Warriors. Let's just call it the way it is. This is now being discussed because of Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is the biggest culprit of this and has been the biggest culprit of this after Greg Popovich started it being fashionable. This was never an issue before. And I understand we played a soundbite from Steve Kerr the other day talking about pace and how the game's different and it might be more difficult physically. That may be true, but the game is as easy as it's been in terms of travel and things of that nature. And load management doesn't seem to be as big of an issue anywhere except for with Steve Kerr and the Warriors. So now we got to change everything around because of Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors. I mean, what a disgrace last night. It's a disgrace. You're in Miami once a year and you don't play Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry because you played the night before in Orlando. It's a freaking joke. Steve Kerr is disrespecting the game. And I like Steve Kerr. I've been very open about that. He's disrespecting the game. That's what he's doing. He doesn't want to come to grips with the fact that he's in the entertainment business. And the reason why his players and him make so much money is because they're entertainers. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And now I like Frank Isola. I mean, covered him and read his story work in the New York Daily News for years. And I've had him on my show. I like him. And I agree with what he said about the preseason and the first month of the season. I think he's spot on with that. But, I mean, we're only talking about this because of Steve Kerr. Again, it's a joke. It's an absolute disgrace. Seriously. Steve Kerr's the reason why load management has become such a topic of conversation. And is he the only one that does this? Nobody's the biggest culprit. And the word is culprit. Okay? He's the biggest culprit. He does not give a damn about the fan. He doesn't give a damn about the paying customer, because if he did, he wouldn't play these guys when he's at home. You think he's ever going to do that to his fans in San Francisco? No. He's going to do it when they're on the road. Why? Because he doesn't care about you. He only cares about himself, all right, and his fans. He doesn't care about the fans in New Orleans where, 2 years ago, he rested all three of his stars in a span of 3 weeks in the same city at New Orleans twice. You think he cares about any of the fans in New Orleans? Hell no. You think he cares about any of the fans in Miami? No. I mean, we can go on and on. It's a joke. It's an absolute disgrace. And the league, who's tried to do everything manageable to make life better for the players, continues to have egg on their face when Steve Kerr makes the decisions that he made again last night. It's a joke. It's plain and simple. It's Steve Kerr's way of giving the NBA the middle finger, and in return, he's giving you the middle finger. He's giving the fans that pay the money the middle finger, and it's a joke, and it's freaking wrong. Plain and simple, it's wrong. And that's my rant for today. It's a joke. Seriously. And I would say one thing that I've been very proud with the Kings. They don't do this. Load management has never been something that we've discussed, Rhino, on this program as it pertains to the Kings. They play guys unless they're legitimately hurt.
Well, maybe they should have with all the injuries this year.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness. You know,
unbelievable.
Frank Isola hit on a couple of things there, one of which you talked about, which is throwing a couple extra weeks, not games, into the schedule. The second was going off of totals instead of averages. And that was a new thought to me. Do you think that matters to the players? Because if you only come into a game if you're Steph Curry and you're in running for one of the big end of the season awards or an All-NBA award, and you only play 10 minutes in a game, that's going to drop your scoring average unless you score 30.
Yeah. It's a great question. It's a great question. I don't know if it would mean anything to Steph Curry with everything that he's accomplished, but I can't speak for him.
Well,
I can't
I'm
speak
using
for him.
him as an example. I
Right.
think it's across the board. Look at players that might be extent or eligible for super maxes, right? They
Yeah.
don't want their numbers to go below a certain percentage. I just like for Miami, and we had this conversation when Steve did it here in Sacramento. It's not just Steph Curry playing the 48 minutes, it's the experience. He comes out late for warmups. You see this legendary warm-up routine that everybody knows about if you followed basketball for a long time, and you're being denied getting to see that entire spectacle when they rest in a place that you only go once a year.
Give me a minute here. The game has just started in Memphis, and I'm counting the fans in attendance, so it might take about 30 seconds, okay?
Do you have enough fingers and toes? I think you have enough.
Yeah, unbelievable. By the way, I want to get back to a message on the text line, and we appreciate that. You can always send a message at 916-779-0929 as it related to Ryan Anderson. Could I imagine him on the Kings and how effective he would have been with DeMarcus Cousins? That would have been a disaster. There's no way in the world that Ryan Anderson would want to be on the floor and in the locker room with Cousins, okay? I know Ryan Anderson well enough that I don't even have to ask him that question. Here's the 916. Grant, I remember Ryan was a free agent hoping he'd be here in Sacramento. I believe he would have fit great next to DeMarcus. He would have been disgusted being around DeMarcus, okay? He wouldn't have wanted to share the same locker room as DeMarcus. So, like, you know, and I believe that it was also one of the reasons why he didn't choose Sacramento. That's how I feel. All right, the Kings and the Grizzlies are underway, and if you are in the Memphis, Tennessee area, Rhino, good seats are available.
At a discount, too. The game started, Dapes.
I had a buddy reach out to me and said that he got a lower level ticket close to the floor tonight for $30.
Stop.
$30. Yep. I mean, think about this. No one's going to this game. Who wants to go to this game?
True fans.
Okay, and a fan that wants to go watch an NBA game. He's from Sacramento. The Kings are in. He's like, why not?
Yep, exactly.
Get the lower level seat for $30.
It's great value. I mean, it does. I'm looking at it right now. It looks closer to a G League attendance than it does an NBA attendance.
Yeah, it sure does. All right, again, if you want to get in on the program, 916. All right, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. The Kings and the Grizzlies off to a blistering pace. It is 2-2 with 1:07 gone by. Do you think 100 wins the game tonight?
No. I think it might be high scoring, actually.
High scoring?
Yeah.
Why? Because there will be no defense played? Is that why?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys that are getting looks, extended looks that don't usually get that much run. Yeah, somebody will get on a heater.
Who do you have tonight in the NFL game? You have the Bills or the Texans?
Bills.
Okay.
You?
Yeah. At some point, I think the Bills have to be closer to what I envisioned them to be when the season began. They've been wildly inconsistent, and as we approach the holidays, that's got to get better for them.
I wonder if and you heard this discussed this last week in some games. I wonder how much they're saving some plays, especially running plays with Josh Allen. You don't want him to get banged up too much here in the middle of the season and waiting to unleash that closer to the playoffs.
I don't know. I think their biggest issue is defensively. I'm not really that concerned about Josh Allen and the offense, even though there have been some games where I've been scratching my head. They're going to win or lose in the playoffs on their defense. They're going to lose. They're going to win. It's going to be based on their defense. That's the part that I just haven't seen when I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills.
When Chris Landry said he thinks, though, and I'm paraphrasing here, tidy some things up Does that include getting some help from other teams that might suffer some injuries? Because how much can you really fix that defense?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Their defense is set. You're not going to pick up players at this juncture.
Oh,
So,
no, I'm not talking about picking them up. I'm saying like Detroit last year, separate
Oh, yeah.
division, but having guys go down. You know, I think the Bills are going to have to get a couple of breaks with the opponents that they play.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting because, again, the NFL season, it's about hanging around until we get to Thanksgiving. Hey, I know we're going in a lot of different directions, but I wanted to ask you this earlier, and we didn't get to it because of the interviews and all of the other chatter. Is Russell Westbrook shooting the three too much now? I mean, when he came for the first 2 weeks, it was very good, but it's been awful lately. Is he shooting the three too much now?
I think so. I'd be a hypocrite if I would not say that because I've been on Dennis Schroeder about the exact same thing. I think Russ has a better ability with the timeliness and IQ to pull it back a little bit. But yeah, I guess the question is, if he's not going to shoot it, where else are the threes going to come from? Because not a lot of people like my take on this, but the 3-point attempts are down a lot this season. And if this is going to be an offensive team, you're not going to win games shooting only 32 3-pointers in this league.
Can't happen. Can't happen. Again, 916-779-0929. We get you right up till 6 o'clock. Hey, right after the Kings and the Grizzlies tonight, join us over on YouTube for the postgame show with Jerry and Rhino. The Kings are already down 5 with 8:35 left to go in the first quarter by the score of 10-5. I can't even imagine being on the postgame show tonight if they lose to this team. Boy.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought we've brought ourselves to that. I mean, seriously, this is what this year is. Now that Sabonis is down.
Yeah, but you can't lose every game you play the rest of the year.
But you wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yes, it's going to be a low point because you look at the schedule and your next probable win would be Memphis when you see them in Sacramento.
Yeah. If they lose tonight, and we're talking about Neek Clifford playing 25 minutes and Keon playing 25 minutes and Rayno playing 20, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to see those guys on the floor.
Great point. Excellent point. And Max, there's no reason Max should not get minutes tonight. None whatsoever.
Of course not. He should be. I would have started him tonight. Seriously.
Yeah.
I would have started
I would
him.
not have minded that whatsoever.
It's ridiculous. So Kings are down with 4 minutes gone by in the first quarter, 13-7. Somebody said, Grant, this is from the 209. You mentioned that season ticket holders have said they don't want to attend any more, if any, games. Do you think that mindset would shift if there was a commitment to playing younger players and it's a focus in developing them for next season? I really don't. Not the fans that I've talked with. Not the fans that I've talked with. So, no. Rhino, look at your screen because I can't read what you've sent to me earlier. And let me know if I have a read to do. 916-779-0929. Kings are turning the ball over a lot here in the first quarter of play, similar to what they did last night in the third quarter at Oklahoma City. So we'll keep you up to date. Again, a 13-7 lead for Memphis, and they have the possession in the first quarter. All right, hey, I want to talk to you about DAS Mechanical, family-owned and operated since 2018. When it comes to HVAC retrofitting and service, they are specialists. They are great at what they do. And yes, they also do new systems. This is ideal for homeowners, businesses, for commercial maintenance. But again, I want to get back to the HVAC retrofit and service. They are so good at that. Go online to dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. You can book everything online. Check out all of their 5-star reviews and their numerous Best of the Best awards. And if you should need a new system, there are many, many options available for you when it comes to financing, including 0% interest for 18 months. And right now, rebates available up to $6,000. Go to dasmechanical.org and book your appointment today. That's dasmechanical.org. 916-779-0929. Your feedback when we come back right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports traffic as we take another look at the roadways. Still very busy throughout the Sacramento area with rush hour delays. Got an accident on the Cap City Freeway eastbound. Right as you approach Marconi Avenue, you're backed up to about Arden Way. That's about an extra 20 to 30 minutes worth of drive time through that area. I-5 northbound, southbound in between Top of the Town Freeway and US 50. Also very busy in that area. With twice an hour traffic, I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit hqnightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
All right, we got a lot going on this Thursday. The NBA, the NFL, the Bills, and the Texans. The Bills with the first drive of the football game. Again, a minute gone by in that contest. The Kings already trailing by significant points, 18-10, with 6:30 left to go in the first quarter. Both these teams are looking for a W big time. 5 straight losses for Memphis and for Sacramento, 7 straight. And we are waiting to see whether Keegan Murray will come in during this timeout. They need something, that's for sure. Keegan Murray is available tonight and is a welcome addition. However, Domantas Sabonis is not. All right? And that is not good. That is not good. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. Looks like Keegan's on the floor. So good for him. 20-10 is the score in favor of Memphis in the early going. Also, Max Reynaud is on the floor with Malik Monk, as Doug Christie has pretty much said, you know what? We got to go to the bench here. You know, we got to go to the bench here. Already down 10. I mean, you only have 10 points in the first 6 minutes against Memphis. Are you kidding me or what? Seriously, only 10 points in the first 6 minutes? That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Brutal.
Kings 10, Kings 10, Zach Edey 8.
Yeah. You know, he's a guy in his second year that has already dealt with injuries. And there was a lot. You remember when he was drafted, the debate on whether there was such a wide range of opinion. He would be a bust, terrible pick, can't play, to those that think, oh, going to be great. It's amazing the difference of opinion on him when he came out of college.
Yeah, I think it's because he is relatively young in his basketball journey. He started late. I want to say it was right around high school. And every year that he played, especially at Purdue, he got better and better and better. And the question was, could he get up and down the court? He changed his body a little bit. But yeah, I would say, and I'll kick this to you, I like the way his body's built for a guy that's that big.
I do too. I would agree with you. Kings already down double digits in the first quarter. Keegan Murray did hit his first shot. So we'll continue to keep you up to date on that. What we continue to see night in, night out are teams that are able to just get into the paint against Sacramento whenever they want. I mean, it's just a joke. It's a joke. They can't keep anyone in front of them. It's a joke. I mean, it really is. They cannot stop anyone from driving into the lane. It doesn't matter what team, doesn't matter the player. The Kings are unable to stop any type of dribble penetration. It's just incredible to me. It's like it's a freaking embarrassment. It's embarrassing. I mean, you're playing Memphis, who stinks. They're an embarrassment to the NBA, and it's already 26-12, and it's like a dunk fest. Dunk on top of me, dunk here, dunk there, dunk there. I mean, it's a joke. It's embarrassing. And I got to listen to the coach talk about we're going to be a rebounding team. We're going to be a defensive team. We're going to be a team out in transition. They're playing Memphis, okay? Freaking Memphis. Memphis. No Morant. No Jackson. Memphis. Memphis. And it's 26-12 already. What an embarrassment. Memphis. Not Oklahoma City. Not Denver. Not Minnesota. Memphis. The Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have 4 wins. 4. And they are dunking on top of the Kings' heads like it's practice. It looks like it's 5 against 3 on the court right now. What a joke. I better see Nick Clifford in the game right now. All right? I better see Keon Ellis in the game right now. I better see Max Reno. Give me the pups. Put them all in. The game's over. The season's over. Get the vets off the floor and stop the embarrassment. What a joke. You're down, Rhino, 26-12. It's 26-12 already. Is the game over? No. Is the season over? Yes.
And you're only talking about one end of the court, Grant. You said they can't stop dribble penetration. They can't create dribble penetration.
I'm not worried
especially
about,
the
though, because the coach said that the offense is not a problem. I heard him say that last week when he was asked about it. He didn't even want to go there. He didn't want to answer it because he said he's not worried about it.
I thought he was going to go Allen Iverson. Offense? But you're asking me about offense? That's really what it was. But, yeah. Put him in. You said it beautifully. And with the right... Grant, you should be on the sideline.
Well, I
The
guarantee
team
if I
needed
was on
that
the
kick in the
sidelines,
butt.
if I were on the sidelines, I know who would be on the floor right now, and I know who would not be on the floor right now. Okay? If I were on the sidelines, I know who would be in the game right now. I would have Keon Ellis on the floor with Nick Clifford, Keegan Murray, Precious Achua, and for right now, Drew Eubanks. You know why? Because those 5 guys are going to bring what I want just in terms of energy and intensity. Those are the 5 right now that I would have on the floor. What a joke. Seriously, 26-12 already. The Bills are on the board with a touchdown. 26-12. Again, the game's not over. I get that. But you have 4 minutes and 35 seconds left, and you only have 12 points. You only have 12 points. 12. Unbelievable. All right. That was my second rant. 916-779-0929. Again, that's 916-779-0929. Welcome to November, where your team is 3-12. And now you have no Sabonis for at least 3 to 4 weeks. He is going to be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. If you did not hear the news, it is so unfortunate. Okay? It really is. A partially torn meniscus. That's awful. Partially torn meniscus in his knee. And again, he's going to be out at least 3 to 4 weeks when he'll be reevaluated. That is really unfortunate. It really is.
So you asked the question earlier in the show, does the injuries save Doug's job? If you see a 30-point loss in Memphis, is he in trouble tonight?
I would think so. I don't know how you could have this continue. But then again, who are you going to put in there? Who's going to be the coach?
Mike Woodson.
No, Mike Woodson doesn't want this mess. I know Mike Woodson well enough to tell you he wouldn't want to be anywhere near this
Then
team
why is
coaching.
he the associate head coach?
Well, you know what? You'd have to ask Scott Perry that. But, I mean, let's just call it the way it is. You think Mike Woodson wants to coach this team? Seriously.
Why'd you take the job?
Well, the job may have looked more attractive at the time that he took it. But you want to walk into a bad locker room and this mess?
Mm.
So, I mean, I'd have real reservations about that.
Can I
if
ask
I were
you?
Mike Woodson?
Can I ask you a legit question? And please understand, I know you had one of these moments in the show, and nobody take this the wrong way, because Domantas Sabonis is a warrior, the toughest player that one of
Agreed.
the toughest Kings
Agreed.
I can remember in my lifetime. Is this necessarily bad timing with his injury? Or does it semi help nudge the Kings, make the decision for them on what the rest of the season looks like?
Yeah, it's a very good point. It probably is the latter. It probably expedites that aspect of what we've been talking about a little bit more.
And he's the last guy that should be at his expense, because he's left it on the floor when it matters and when it doesn't matter. But a mess.
This from the 279. Hey, Grant, can we get an update on traffic for Memphis? Let me see what I can do for you there, 279. Let me see what we can do there. There's not a lot of traffic around the arena because the place is half empty. So you're probably going to be good there. Beale Street, I'll try to get you an update from Beale Street. You ever been in Memphis?
No, I have not.
So. Yeah, don't go to Memphis. Go to Nashville if you're going to go to Tennessee. Go to Knoxville. The suburbs of Memphis are beautiful. Downtown Memphis, I wouldn't recommend it. A 30-point quarter for Memphis with 2:55 to go in the first quarter.
Grant, that's just effort. You can't explain it any other way. That's effort.
Unbelievable. Seriously.
Like, are we going to be on the post-game show talking about a game with less effort than what we saw against the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah, we might be. Because I'll tell you, in watching this game, Memphis is busting their chops out there on the floor. You see the effort that Memphis is giving? I'm like, wow.
They're all over the place.
Like, they're running hard. They're defending. They're contesting shots. I'm not seeing that from the Kings team.
You know what the Kings look like at times this year? And more times than not, they look like you just walked into a Cal Fit and 5 guys that drove there separately are playing together.
That's a great point. Max Reynaud looks pretty good. I will give him credit. He's got some nice low post moves.
He's got a very, very high basketball IQ.
He really does have a good basketball IQ. You're right about that. He really does. Yes, he does. What's your IQ? You have a good IQ? Have you ever had your IQ tested? I haven't, because I'd be embarrassed to look at the numbers. I've never really had to figure out what my IQ was. Now, if it were based on sports, it would be okay. But if it were based on just like how they, first of all, I don't even know how they determine what your IQ is, but I'd be embarrassed to see what my IQ would be. I don't think it would be very good.
Your sports IQ would be ridiculous because of how much live sports you were exposed to at an early age. No, I have not had my IQ tested.
Okay.
I really don't want to, but I have watched an interview with the individual that allegedly has the highest IQ.
Really?
In the world. And it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
That's just something you're born with, is it not? And I really mean that. There are my brother was like that. So like my brother was the National Honor Society in high school, double major at a really good college where he was a 4.0 grade point coming out of college. Never really had to study, always knew it. Like, but he lacks a degree of common sense, but he had an amazing IQ. And I was just totally the opposite, in my opinion. I didn't have a high IQ, but I thought I had much better common sense than my brother. That's just the way I viewed it. By the way, it's now a 35-point quarter for Memphis. You think they're going to hit 40 here?
I hope not.
Brutal. Brutal.
And here's the thing, though. Even if the Kings come back and win, this is still a massive problem. A 40-point opening quarter, close to. Right now it's at 35 on my screen with 50 seconds to go. That's a massive problem, Grant.
Against a team without John Morant, without Jaren Jackson, and 3 other players They are scoring at will and dunking on the Kings' heads here in the opening quarter.
They just, Memphis, shot a 3 where Zach LaVine was in the key, and his guy is beyond the arc, free throw extended.
You know,
Wide
if Dennis
open.
Schroeder makes a shot, they ought to just stop the game and give him the ball. I had to do that. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, you're good. I just said Zach LaVine, middle on the side of the key while his man's wide open for the free throw extended three-pointer. Luckily, Memphis missed.
35-22, a ball that was in and out at the horn from 3 for Memphis. They dominate the first quarter of play, dominate it at the end of 12 minutes, 35-22. Why don't we take our final break? We'll come back. If you want to get in on the program, I would love to talk to you, all right? The Bills have an early lead, but they missed the extra point, so it's 6-0. Houston with the football, and the Kings are down after 1. Final segment, straight ahead, Fox Sports Sacramento.
Fox Sports traffic as we take one final look at the roadways. Cap City Freeway eastbound at Hardin Way. That earlier accident has been wrapped up, which is some good news. However, you still got some heavy rush hour delays through there. Same thing with I-5 northbound, southbound in between Top of the Town Freeway and US 50. You got about a 20 to 25 extra minute delay through there. And US 50 in between Howe Avenue and I-5 also very sluggish with twice an hour traffic. I'm Andy Bass for Fox Sports Sacramento.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580 or go to elitepower.com.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Start your weekend off right with Bennett's Bubbles and Brunch. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2, enjoy 2 entrees and a bottle of Prosecco for just $49. Indulge in favorites like our Dungeness crab omelet, country fried steak, or eggs Benedict. Whether you're celebrating, catching up with friends, or just treating yourself, brunch at Bennett's is always the right occasion. Come raise a glass, your table is waiting. Reserve now at bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit HQNightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
Have you ever tried to buy gold and silver and felt like you were talking to a used car salesman? That's because the precious metals industry is like the Wild West. Salesmen can say pretty much anything or make any promise they want without repercussion. But Genesis Gold Group is different. They're a faith-driven Christian precious metals company and believe in educating their customers, not pressuring them for a quick sale. Genesis Gold Group focuses on customer service, not sleazy marketing. Genesis Gold Group is named after the first book of the Bible for a reason. Proper stewardship of wealth is their specialty. Find out why they've earned a 5 out of 5 rating through the Better Business Bureau and how they can help you secure your wealth or retirement through physical precious metals. Call right now to learn more.
800 497 8464. 800 497 8464. 800 497 8464. That's 800 497 8464.
Final segment. Picking you up till 6 o'clock. Don't forget, we'll replay hour number 1, and you'll be able to hear the interview that I had with Ryan Anderson in the second segment of the first hour. Napes and Rhino taking you right up to the final horn here at 6 o'clock. And then we'll be over on YouTube right after the Kings take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Rhino, what do you have for me?
So here's my question, and it has to do with the postgame show. You and I, we both have our ways of observing a basketball game. No secret that we have to beat feet from the studio to get back to our home studios to do postgame. Okay. So let's take the announcers out of it, since we talked about that earlier. I usually, on my way home, and if there's any officers listening, please do not hit me for this retroactively. And thank you for your service. But I usually will put my phone in a spot where I can kind of be watching the game and driving, or at least listening and catching some of the action. Do you think you're better off putting on the G-Man and listening to the action that way, or doing it the way that I've been doing it?
I would listen on radio. It's not worth getting into an accident. So I used to do that with football, Monday Night Football, driving home from work. But, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. So I would just listen to it on radio, which I started doing, by the way, even on Monday Night Football, instead of trying to watch it on my phone and driving home.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just curious. Not that I'm staring at the phone whatsoever. I've got my eyes on
I would put it
glass.
on the radio. I would just listen to it on the radio driving home, and then knowing that, listen, I can watch the game as soon as I get home.
G-Man
It's the
does a
same
pretty
thing
good
when
job.
I travel abroad, right? And I always talk about different modes of transportation based on where you go. Like if you go over to Holland, right? Everyone's on bicycles everywhere. It's unbelievable. Like the number of bicycles in Holland, it's like, wow. Like it's a mode of transportation. When you go to Asia, right? There are motorbikes by the thousands on the road. It's like an ant farm. Okay. And in Asia, the traffic in a lot of these large cities is very, very congested. And so you have motorbikes that are going in between traffic, going left, going right, going around cars when they have an opening, because they're all trying to get to the front of the line so that when the light turns green, you're good to go. And you might have 100 motorbikes, right in front of the traffic light, waiting for it to turn green. And if you happen to be driving a vehicle in these cities, you cannot at all take your eye off the road, because you have motorbikes all over you, and they are weaving in and out of traffic like you can't believe. It is a very stressful form of driving.
That does not sound fun, being a driver or a passenger.
It's different. It's different. That is for sure.
Do you have more
So
mirrors?
like when I do go over there,
Yeah.
I get on the back of a motorbike taxi. Costs like very little money. And you call a taxi, or you flag one down. They have orange vest on, or you go to an app and they just pick you up where you are.
Okay.
And you get on the back of a motorbike and you don't have a helmet on. And as you're on the back of the motorbike, that if you should happen to have an accident, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So it's a gamble. I mean, you're gambling that you have a driver that is not going to do anything stupid, and that your life is not in danger. There's a lot of people over in Asia, especially in China and in Thailand and some of the other really congested areas of these countries. There are many, many traffic fatalities, and most of them stem from motorbikes.
If there's a lot of traffic, what's usually, if you're downtown, congested part of the city, what are you usually getting up to speed-wise on those motorbikes?
Well, it depends on whether you're at the front of a traffic light or behind it.
There's the common sense.
Right? But if you are, I mean, sometimes I don't even know what it is in miles per hour. I've looked, and sometimes, 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. And if you were to fall, if you were to have an accident on that without a helmet on, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you would be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So, you got to weigh like, okay, like what am I doing here? Is it worth it? What time is it? And all the other things. How many dunks do you think the Memphis Grizzlies have? How many dunks do you think Zach Edey has in the first half? 5 maybe already? Seriously, he's got 12 points on 5 of 5. I think 4 of his baskets have been literally dunks on top of the Kings' heads.
I have seen 3 dunks in what has caught my eye so far in this one. And the Kings just...
Wow. It's unbelievable.
On their heels. And now Zach Edey's hitting shots. He does have a good 3-ball, by the way. Just doesn't use it that much.
45-31. I got to tell you, the Memphis Grizzlies don't look like a team with 4 wins in terms of their effort tonight. Has that stuck out to you, their effort?
Yeah.
I mean, like they're swarming to the ball. They're defending. They're trying to rebound. The bench is up. I don't know if you've seen pictures of the bench because I'm watching the Memphis feed. They're all up cheering for their players on the court. I don't see that with the Kings very much.
No, you just said the key word, TEAM, team. Yep. And also, here's the other aspect, Grant. This is a team that's in flux. You've got Ja Morant, who, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Is the coach going to go? These guys want to prove that they can play without Ja Morant.
Yeah, and they are doing that. It's 48-31. The Kings are already down 17 points in this game with 7:15 left. And you asked the question, and I'm gonna. You said if the Kings were to lose by 30 tonight, I don't see how you can stay with Doug Christie as the coach. And do I think this mess is completely his fault? No, I don't. But I think that he has shown already this year that he's not experienced enough, especially with a mess of a situation. He's proven that already. He proved it in the play-in game against Dallas. Jason Kidd thoroughly outcoached him. I mean, what did we talk about on the post-game show over on YouTube? That was the number one point of contention, that he was thoroughly outcoached and his team wasn't prepared, and it was very obvious, right? And so now you have, well, we're going to defend and we're going to rebound, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen, and it's going to, well, we keep waiting for it to happen. Then he sometimes talks about the effort. Then sometimes he's talking about, they're all professionals. No, they're not all professionals because they're not playing professionally. So don't come on the air last night, or on the air, meaning on the post game, and talk about how the guys all want to win. And no, they don't. Okay. It's obvious to me they don't give a damn. Okay. Coach the team the way it needs to be coached. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand anything. Let me just start with the whole big picture here. There's nothing going on that I understand right now. Do I need to take a break here, or have we already taken the final break? We already took the final break.
We've got
See, I'm so wrapped up in my I'm being furious here. I'm infuriated with what I'm watching. I don't even know where I'm at in the show. It is absolutely driving me crazy that the team can be this bad, this mismanaged, and it is mismanaged, and this poorly coached. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? Seriously. Unbelievable. Here's one from the 209. I just can't take it anymore. The Kings are just standing around, not playing any defense. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly right. Am I going to have to hear the coach come on and talk about this is unacceptable? And, if I were playing, it wouldn't be like that, and put a jersey on me, and that the fan. No, I'm done with it. I'm done with that.
Okay, hold on. I'm done with it too, but at what point do the players push back?
I think they already are.
I mean, vocally, at the podium.
Well, players normally don't do that, Rhino. I mean, think about the various sports, right? It's more what they don't say, Ryan, rather than what they do say.
That's a good point. It's a good point. I mean,
but Zach Edey looks like he's playing out there just like in a pickup game against high school kids.
Yeah, no, he absolutely. I mean, he is significantly bigger than anybody else.
He's just dunking on top of everyone's head. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Even Drew Eubanks. And he's coming up with steals. He's knocking balls down. He's active. I mean, he looks like freaking Wilt Chamberlain on the floor.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hey, I want to talk to you about Village Financial Group. And if you are in the market to sell a home, buy a home equity line of credit, check out Village Financial Group. Talk about experience. They've got that 25 years in business. I can vouch for their owner broker, Spencer Grimmenstein, because I've known him for 25 years. And when it comes to like investing in real estate, when it comes to buying a home, selling a home, regardless of what direction you go in, you want someone that's experienced. You want someone that knows about financing and is a specialist. Well, that's what I love about Spence. He's a financing specialist. He's very creative, and he has access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group online at vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. Or you can just call Spence. You can text him as well. He's fine with that. Shoot him a text, 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group. It makes sense to call Spence. Again, 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. To be honest, it's a tough listen from the East Coast. It's a tough watch from the East Coast. 53-31 Memphis. Is this one of the most embarrassing halves based on who you're playing that we've seen so far this year? And again, I'm mindful of the fact that there's still 6 minutes left.
Yeah, throw out that it's a second night in the back-to-back.
Forget about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Throw out the Sabonis thing. You know why? Because you just got Keegan Murray back. That should be a spark. We are getting, I feel like, Grant, we are getting closer and closer to the bottom of the valley.
Boy, I hope so.
By the minute.
You know, I really hope so. I really hope so. Because there's no other word to say what I'm watching here in the first half as I'm talking to you and talking to our listeners.
No.
This is an embarrassing performance. You have 31 points, 31, with halfway in the second quarter against the team that's got 4 wins, has lost 5 in a row, and don't have their 2 very best players on the floor. Think about that for a minute. Keon Ellis, by the way, has not been in the game, has he?
Neat
Clifford has not been in the game, has he?
Neat Clifford has been in the game.
Oh, I beg your pardon. He has been in the game. All right. Let me go up by the minutes here. My bad. Neat Clifford has played 4 minutes. Keon Ellis has not played.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You're getting run off the court.
I'll tell you, I can't make it sense because Doug Christie makes no sense. Everything that he's doing to me makes 0 sense. And I'm sorry, he has to be held accountable for this. And you can't absolve him and say, well, gee, the roster's not very good. And listen, Phoenix's roster's not very good. They play their ass off every night. The Jazz roster's not very good. They play hard every night. I mean, the Kings don't even play hard anymore. Occasionally. It's a joke. It's a joke. You know what it looks like to me? And I mentioned this to you last week, and you disagree with me, which is fine. I love when you disagree with me. The Kings, to me, look like last week in the Atlanta game. What did I say? I said they looked to me, they quit on Doug. Tonight, they look like they've quit on Doug.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you anymore. I mean, that's a once-in-a-season thing, Grant. That's something that can only happen one time. Like the national media said, Doug can only go to that press conference after a game like that and do that once a season.
Cody chimed in from the 650. It's only going to get worse, Grant. I agree with you, Cody. I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
It's only going to
get worse. And now you have Domantas Sabonis, who's out for at least 3 to 4 weeks. It's unbelievable to me.
Grant, it's only going to get worse if the veterans are playing the minutes they're playing right now. 10 for Westbrook, 13 for Levine.
How's Keon Ellis not on the floor yet?
I don't know.
Like, seriously, how is Keon Ellis not on the floor with the Kings getting run out of the gym and giving up layups, dunks, dribble penetration, so on and so forth? Huh? Wow.
No answer. I bet you Jerry Reynolds, who is almost never lost for words and can make you laugh, probably has no answer right now.
I would think he does not. And we're going to ask Jerry that question on the postgame show, which is going to be coming on roughly at about 7:15 to 7:30. By the way, the Memphis Grizzlies also just won a challenge on a dunk attempt by Zach LaVine that hit the back of the rim. They called a foul, but there was no foul. Well, man, you know what I need? I need a good prime New York from Bennett's. That would make me feel better. Get me to Bennett's, would you please? Get me a nice glass of red wine and my prime New York. That would do it for me. My thanks to Ryan Anderson. My thanks to Chris Landry. Don't forget, YouTube right after the game. The Kings getting just embarrassed. We'll see if it changes. Have a fabulous rest of your evening. Talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye.
For nearly all of us, our home is our biggest investment. And just as important as what it looks like on the outside is what is happening on the inside. How long has it been since electrical integrity checked? Whether your home is 10 or more years old or even a newer build, the safe rule of thumb is to get the electrical inspected at least every 5 years. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We're the area's recognized experts. Panel replacements, whole house fans, generators, solar, and more. But home inspections are what we do most often. Whether you have a difficult electrical situation or it's just time to ensure your home and family are safe, call locally owned Gabrud's for our thorough 12-point expert inspection. Gabrud's, serving our Northern California neighbors for more than 30 years. Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrud's.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
Yes, I am back. My thanks to Rhino for pinch hitting yesterday. I hate missing shows. Hate. But didn't have a choice yesterday, but we are back. Man, we have a lot to talk about. How the heck are you? So, the mighty Sacramento Kings, with a record of 3 up and 12 down, are in Memphis tonight. They have 4 wins. Keegan Murray is going to play tonight. Guess who's not playing tonight? And guess who's not going to be playing for the next several weeks? Domantas Sabonis, a partially torn meniscus in his knee. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. So, I told you before the season began that by Thanksgiving, the Kings would be out of it. And I said that this season would be a disaster. I had no way of knowing that a knee injury to Sabonis would factor into that before we get to Thanksgiving. But this season already has been a disaster, and it will continue to be a disaster until Doug Christie wakes the heck up and starts coaching his team the way it needs to be coached. What are you doing? Would someone please tell me what is Doug Christie doing? There's nothing makes sense. What he says on the postgame shows doesn't make sense. His substitution pattern doesn't make sense. His minutes doesn't make sense. Would someone please tell me why Nick Clifford is barely playing now? Would someone please tell me why Keon Ellis's minutes don't make any sense? There's no rhyme or reason to how he's using Keon Ellis. Would someone please explain to me how he keeps Dennis Schroeder in the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder last night for 32 minutes and watches Schroeder take 21 shots? That's right, 21 shots. He scored 21 points on 21 shots. I could score 21 points on 21 shots. Well, maybe not. 2 of 9 from downtown. Really? Dennis Schroeder is taking 9 3-pointers, and I've got Zach LaVine on the floor who's taking 10 shots, and DeRozan is taking 12 shots, and Dennis Schroeder is taking 21 shots, and you're just going to keep playing him? Really? What's that all about? What is Doug Christie doing? How about wake up and coach the team the way it needs to be coached? Seriously, the season's over. Can we just acknowledge that? You're 3-12. You're 3-12. And now you don't have your best player for probably a month or so. I mean, come on now. Nick Clifford played 8 minutes. The opening game of this road trip, he played 7 minutes? Game 2, he played 11 minutes? Listen, I'm not making Nick Clifford out to be like the next great player in the history of the NBA, but come on now. How many times do we have to come on the air and talk about what's going on with Keon Ellis? Again, what is Doug doing here? There's no pattern. There's no rhythm. There's nothing. It's nonsense. Oklahoma City didn't even play well. They were going through the motions last night. They win 113-99. Did I expect the Kings to win last night? No. Was I okay with their effort? Yeah, I was. But you know, how sad is it that we're now evaluating the Sacramento Kings from game to game on whether they have an effort or not? Think about that. That's how the season has already become. We're the week before Thanksgiving, next Thursday. And you know what we're judging this team on? Gee, they really had good effort tonight. Even Doug talked about it after the game last night. Really? That's what it's come down to? Good effort? That's how I have to evaluate the team? And tonight they take on the Memphis Grizzlies without the head case John Morant. Jaren Jackson, as of a couple of moments ago, was listed as doubtful with an ankle. The Grizzlies are a franchise that might, and again, I use the word might, be in more disarray and more dysfunctional than the Kings, which is saying something. They're 4-11. They've lost 9 of their last 10. Their point differential is minus 8-1, which is a lot better than the Kings at minus 11.6. They don't like playing for their coach. Their offense looks like Dick Motta's offense. And I don't know what's going on in Memphis other than the fans are like, forget it. Wait till you see the arena tonight if you watch the game. It's going to be empty. Why would you go watch the Kings and the Grizzlies? Seriously, why would you go to that game? Why would you? How about all the bad teams in the West? We keep on talking about like the West this, the West that. I mean, really? The 9th place team, the Portland Trailblazers, are 6-9. Vucevic with another 3 for the Bulls last night to win at the Horn. They're 6-9. The Jazz are in 10th place. They're at 5-9. The Clippers are 4-10. The Grizzlies are 4-11. Dallas is 4-12. Sacramento is 3-12, and New Orleans is 2-13. I mean, the West, from after you get done with the Warriors, who are basically a 500 team, the West stinks. Portland, to me, I think they're going to be okay, but they're 6-9. But I mean, it's a weak bottom half of the Western Conference. Weak. I mean, if you look at the 10th place team in the East, it's Orlando at 8-7. Big difference. Big difference. All right, so Keegan Murray tonight. What do you expect from Murray? Jerry Reynolds on our YouTube channel, if you don't like that, post-game show with Rhino yesterday, and he was asked by Rhino what we can expect from Keegan Murray starting tonight.
But that's a great point. I mean, I don't know. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that might be tough to put him right in the starting lineup as a 30-minute guy. You know, certainly hasn't had that kind of work. Achua's playing pretty well, so you might choose to bring Keegan off the bench for a couple of games. Having said all that, at some point, very quickly once he comes back, he needs to be a 30-plus minute guy, and whether you play him at 3 or 4, that'll be determined. But I think he becomes a starter. Probably, you know, Achua might be come off the bench, you know, as maybe the first big off the bench kind of thing. But certainly there's no way it doesn't help you, because it gives you a guy that can block some shots, obviously shoot the ball. But I do think, I don't want to get too fired up. It's, you know, I think Keegan didn't have a preseason. And so, you know, I think first couple games back, I'd be surprised if he plays in the extended minutes, you know, just try to make sure he gets out there and gets minutes in both halves and try to get him comfortable as quick as possible.
Jerry Reynolds on the YouTube channel. If you don't like that, we will be on right after the game tonight. The three of us, Jerry, Rhino, and myself. I agree with Jerry about the minutes, but I'm starting him tonight. Like, what do you have to lose? You're 3-12. Who cares? Start him. You're 3-12. Your season's over. Doug's not going to admit the season's over, but I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Kings anymore. I really don't. I say this in all sincerity. Like, you tell me what's going on with the Kings. Seriously. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason with anything that's going on. It doesn't make sense to me. What is the goal of this year? Seriously. Why is Dennis Schroeder taking 21 shots? I mean, I don't get that. There's so many things going on with this team right now that I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. So the Kings and Grizzlies tonight.